All right, welcome back to another episode of Dad Smokes Meats. We've got an experiment that we're going to try this time. So what we have in front of us, this is an uncut eye of round that I got from Costco. Asked from the butcher himself. One, you get it cheaper. You get about $1.50 a pound cheaper than the cut up ones. And two, when it's all trimmed, a lot of this fat cap is all gone. And if you know anything about eye of round, there's not a lot of marbling on the inside. So typically you're going to use this for roast beef. Maybe you're going to use it for your beef jerky. But what we're going to try to do is make this taste like prime rib for 20 bucks. This is a $20 cut of meat. And so in order to do that, we're going to do a couple things. We're going to tenderize it. We're going to marinate it. And then we're also going to inject it with beef tallow. All that over the next 2 days. And then we're going to smoke it and see what it kind of turns out to. So first step is we need to tenderize this meat, and then we're going to put it in a bag and get it marinating so that marinade can get into the tenderized portions. We're going to let that sit overnight, and then tomorrow we'll take it out of the bag, get it all patted off dry, and then I'm going to inject it with some liquid beef tallow. We'll get it back in the fridge for that beef tallow to harden back up, season it up, and then we'll smoke it. So that's our experiment. This could work, could not work. No idea. Haven't really seen anyone on the internet that have tried something like this. So why not be the first? The best way to tenderize this is going to be to use a meat tenderizer. So with this tool, you'll be very careful. When you push down on it, these spikes are going to come out and just leave little holes all throughout the meat. If you don't have one of these, I just got one, so I didn't have one. You could also just use a skewer and stab it a few times as well. So we're just going to go through and we're going to put holes all throughout this eye of round. Not the easiest thing to do. Let's flip it over. You're also going to notice I didn't trim up any of this fat. I didn't trim off the silver skin. I think when we smoke it and we do it low and slow, a lot of that will come off. But we want that fat to be inside the meat as well. I mean, that's why you get it untrimmed, so you can have some of the flavor that is typically taken away. Okay, I believe that's going to be good enough. Let's do this side a little bit too. All right, we're going to try that out. So now, again, nothing trimmed off. We're going to throw this in the bag here. And I unfortunately tried to put it in a gallon bag and didn't fit, so I'm using a crock pot bag. I went out and just picked up an easy KC Masterpiece marinade for Steakhouse. Had great reviews. A lot of people said they liked the flavor. So you want to make sure this is really shooken up. I did that a little bit before. And we're just going to pour all of this goodness in. Oh, it smells really good. I'm going to use the whole bottle. And I'm going to carefully get this as close to sealed as possible. Then we're going to put it in the fridge and let it sit for 24 hours. And we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. All right, so our eye of round has been marinating now for just over 24 hours. And we want to eat in a roughly 4.5, 5 hours. So we're going to get this out and we're going to get it cleaned off. But it smells wonderful. It looks good. So we're just going to get all this sauce off as much as we can. We're going to set this off to the side. And wash those hands. What we're going to do is we're going to pat this dry. So we as dry as it can be. So then we can then get our seasonings to stick. We're going to go with just a nice salt, pepper, garlic seasoning. So nothing grand. And this is the time where we're going to inject it. Now what you'll see in front of me here is what we in the business like to call liquid gold. So a few weeks ago we did a brisket, and I trimmed off a whole bunch of that fat from the brisket and then sauteed it until it broke down into this beef tallow. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this liquid beef tallow. Now what I ended up doing, this was a solid because this has been in the fridge. I just put it on in a pot of water on the stove and heated it up just so it would liquefy. And we're going to take this beef tallow and put it in this. Again, our goal here is there is no real marbling inside of an eye around. We're going to try to get some marbling in there. And then we'll get this put in the fridge, get this beef tallow to harden up, and then we'll be ready to smoke in about an hour. All right, so now we've injected the full eye round with a bunch of beef tallow, probably more than I originally anticipated, but that's what we want. We want, again, to make this like a prime rib, and the best way to do that is to inject it with some more beef tallow. So what we're going to do now is we're going to coat this really well with our salt, pepper, and garlic blend. We're going to get it on a cooling rack, put it in the fridge, and then let it sit for about an hour. And we're going to get a really good coating of this seasoning. We want it to make a great bark. Get all sides. All right, she's all ready to go. We'll put it in the fridge and check back in an hour. All right, so we've had that meat sitting for about an hour in the fridge. The beef tallow that we injected should be all solidified. We've got our seasonings all on here that have secured onto the meat, and we're going to make a great crust. So now we're just going to throw it into the smoker. We've got it set at 225. Been having the smoke go for a little bit now. We're just going to set that right in the center of the rack and set that to go. Now, you would also want to put a meat thermometer in here with an eye of round. You really don't want to go over. Mine, unfortunately, was out of battery, so I have it charging right now. This is going to take at least 3 hours. So after an hour, I'll come in and I'll put that thermometer right in the middle. And we're trying to shoot for that 120 temperature. Then we'll take it off the smoker, bring it up, sear it on each side, and then let it rest. And then we'll cut into it. So we'll see how this turns out. All right, so she is done. It's been about a little over 2 hours. Cooked a little bit faster than I'd planned, but that's going to be all right. So we're going to get this thermometer removed. And now the fun part is we want to get a nice sear. And to do that, I'm going to use my trusty friend, the flamethrower. We're going to get a nice bark. So when we slice into it, everything stays together. Once we get this all seared, we'll take it upstairs, let it rest for about 15 minutes while we finish the rest of the sides, and we'll slice into it. All right, so let's see how our experiment worked. We've got it, take it up here. It's been sitting, resting for about 15 minutes. Hopefully when we cut into this, kind of looks like a prime rib. But even better yet, it'll taste like prime rib. Got me some au jus here ready. I'm gonna cut out a piece and give it a shot. All right, first, how does it look? Okay, that looks amazing and very juicy. And you got to remember, this is the cheap eye of round. This is not a prime rib, but it looks like a mini prime rib in my case. Here's the taste. $22 prime rib, guys. Can't get any better than this. So this experiment worked out. Maybe I'll share it with Guga or some of the other YouTubers and see if they can do it any better than I did. But this is fantastic, and it's going to work really well. Thanks for watching.